Coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Goose print smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, on just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, on just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakened to lighten her load.
Hey guys, welcome. Some of you guys are like, I just watched you. Skipper. Yeah, I recorded a thing last night, went out this morning. That was my quick reaction to without even reading the motion disqualifying the what the hells. But I didn't even read it. I've read it now. So let's welcome everyone and we'll get into it. Let's see. We got Larice. Welcome. You're first this morning. Welcome. How? It's got to be night out there in the Philippines. Hellhound. Welcome. Georgie. Good to see you. Voss. Good to see you. We got Jemba here. Good morning. Miss Jams. Good to see you. So yeah. I didn't prepare anything else because, well, actually, yeah, I kind of did. I did watch at least a good chunk of the State of the Union last night, and I wanted to talk about that. And that's all I was like. I was watching that when I got word of the motion to disqualify, and I was like, "Oh, okay. I guess I'm gonna have to take a pause from the State of the Union."
You're done. You're done.
That's about how it was. But this morning I was like, oh, it's 80 pages. It's going to take so long to get through 80 pages. But it turns out it's only 30 because the other 50 are primarily the transcript of the April 2025 show cause hearing. So was not as long as what I expected, but it's a very well written motion. Shockett, like he paints a good case. It's a good motion, and it paints And I was talking about this last night, if you watched it. Why am I just Georgie? Are you like one of these are you like one of these women that, like, if they get called by their first name by their husband or boyfriend, you're like, that is not my name. My name to you is Bay or Honey, or are you one of those, Georgie? Hi, Jeanette. Hey, Amanda. Good to see you. Um, yeah. Which Amanda, I do want to talk about the thing you sent me. And remind me before I end. I'll read your email. Oh, that's good. That's so good. Once it hits your lips, it's just so good. Um, one criticism of the State of the Union before I get into anything else, my mom was upset that he didn't really address the price of groceries, and I get that. I get that. It's hump day, and he's not showing us his puppets either. I can do a puppet video. I can do a puppet video. In fact, I've got a puppet for lips now. Georgie's seen it. Did I think it's here. I made it up, and I made it at work. See, as I sit in these team meetings, I just sit there and like just do stuff. Sharon, it is out. It has been posted. Max Lab. If you go to Max Lab's channel, you can actually read it for yourself. Max Lab did provide it to me. Yeah, it's pretty much it paints Bolitho into a corner. It's, hey, there was this show cause hearing. The other side didn't show. So the judge just took everything out on Randy Shockett, which, Randy, they were talking, the judge was mad about the number of filings. But what's funny about it is that case is compared to Fed 2, there's way more filings in Fed 2. Lipsy La Loser. Is that like Hedy Lamar? So yeah, and he's correct in his filing, because he says, well, arguably this is shotgun motions that Shockett is doing, and Randy points out correctly. He goes, hey, that's very passive language, saying that something is almost something or arguably something. Then the opposite is true. If it's almost that, then it's clearly not that. And if it's not that, then you can't dismiss it. Hey, Seagirl. So that's what he talks about the judge's his report to dismiss. But Randy then cites back to the language used in the April show cause hearing and says this is the exact type of language. And pretty much, and there is federal precedent out there that if the judge has bias against an attorney, they can't take that out on the client and the case. They can't. And that's what Randy cites to. And also, I didn't catch this in the judge's report. He talks about Jeremy's case against Dan Owens and it getting dismissed. And what he's trying to do is try to paint Jeremy as a vexatious litigant. But, the whole reason we have Fed 2 is because Judge Bolitho said, no, you can't add him to this case. You got to do a new case. So the judge created that one. Like they're doing exactly what you said, Judge, and now you're mad. And then with the Dan Owens case, it involves no one from this case. So you can't paint him as a vexatious litigant. In fact, why did the judge, if the judge was going to cite that case, why did the judge not cite the Ohio case? Why did not the judge not cite the other cases in Florida, the thumbnail case, the trespass 5 case? Why is he not citing those? And that's the problem, with this is, as a judge, you got to call balls and strikes both ways. You can't hold one counsel to a higher standard than the other one, especially when the other one is still doing the things that they've requested not. Megan and Tug made a very good point last night about what this judge is doing. I did not watch them because I was watching the State of the Union, but I turned off the State of the Union to do my video because I was like, okay, I'm gonna record this video and schedule it to go out. So, and I don't think it went out. That's the other thing I wanted to look at. Yeah, it didn't go out on. It went out on Facebook. I do know that it didn't go out on YouTube. So I'll upload my video onto YouTube. I don't remember if I did that or not. If I did that purposefully or not. Because see, lives and videos are treated differently by YouTube. So maybe I will set up the what's it? I'll set up the I'll set that up to go out on YouTube later on today. Let me download it right now. Okay, there we go. Download. Boom. There we go. It's downloading. So hopefully it finishes downloading before I leave for work today. I may have to make an appearance for this document. If you want to come in, you can. Megan get a good point of federal courts will go after their own people in a heartbeat over sanctions and holding them accountable. Yeah, and that's the case. And he makes a good case that they've only the judges only issued sanctions against Jeremy or against Randy because he's the only one that showed up. So, and there's been ample opportunities for Judge Bolitho and Judge Hinkle to do sanctions on Bruce. Likewise, the same thing that Bruce was doing, we have Luffman doing. So why are you treating one party different in this case? So this has been a master motion. This is a great motion. I don't see, and I talked about this in my video if you guys watched it, that went out earlier today. This really paints the federal court into a corner. And you never want to be painted into a corner, regardless who you are in court, because for Jeremy, it's a win-win-win. Because the judge will have to recuse himself, and then the federal judge will have to deny the motion to dismiss. If not, Jeremy has multiple grounds on which to appeal. You always want to preserve your right to appeal, and you can appeal for a lot of different things. And normally the courts don't like what they call interlocutory appeals. That means an appeal while the case is going on. They'll take them, but that normally is reserved for things like motions. You can appeal motion as the case is going on. And Randy is absolutely preparing himself for that. The defendants have straight up attacked Bolitho, and Bolitho punishes the plaintiff. Oh yeah, absolutely. And the thing that he punished Shockett for, uh, they're doing even more. They're doing even more. So there's even grounds that the judge has lost control of the case. And rather than take control of the case, the judge just wants to dismiss it. Hold on, I'm going to open up my window. Yeah, it's a little bit warm in here. So, yeah, and yeah, the judge has, and the fact that he mentioned the Dan Owens case, which has no bearing on this one, uh, uh, it is, it's prejudicial. Okay, I hope you guys understand that. Like, and this is where people have a hard time understanding court. And I'll tell you, the one case that I saw it in was Kyle Rittenhouse. People were talking about Facebook posts that Kyle Rittenhouse had made, in the months prior to that event, and they were very upset that the judge wouldn't bring in those comments, and they were trying to show that that was proof of Kyle Rittenhouse's mindset. But the judge, and rightfully so, said, no, these are prejudicial comments. He made comments about other instances, not about the three people who had been shot the night of Kyle Rittenhouse, not about the event that Kyle Rittenhouse was there for. It's prejudicial. You can't bring that stuff in. And you see a lot of this, like when they want to, like, you've seen it when, well, the victim has posted this before. It doesn't matter what they did. You can only deal with things about the case. That we, the people, are citizens, have no protection. Only law enforcement judges are protected. I would imagine she's talking about qualified immunity there. And there's also judicial immunity, meaning you can do things in court and say things in court that you can't be held liable for. And just as an example, I've been defamed by my ex in court. She has stated things that are completely and totally untrue. She even perjured herself. She said, like, you guys saw the video where her boyfriend attacked me, and she filed and got a temporary restraining order stating that she said that I was screaming and yelling, I was irate, and that I attacked them. And if you watch that video, you can see the only one screaming and yelling before the attack is her. I'm trying to talk to my son, and I'm not yelling at all. She yells. And if you turn up the sound, you can hear it. Because it was my dash cam inside my car, so that's why it's muffled. And you can see in there, I'm not trying to attack her. She's the one with her hands all over me. I do at one point touch her in response, but again, I'm just matching the energy that people brought to me. Her boyfriend, however, comes out of nowhere and hits me. But they said that I was the one hitting people, and that was completely false. And I had a video, and that's why they didn't want it to go in front of the judge. But the fact, and she could have, had we gotten her on the stand, we could have gotten her for perjury. But first off, I was willing to let things go. Court it's nasty, and I didn't want to drag things out. The other thing is, she does have judicial immunity for her filing. So I can't sue her for defamation for filing that. She has judicial immunity. Politicians need to be in that group. Which group? Megan was talking about the DA as well. Isn't that how Kyle's 4 doors more hose? But no, it's 4 doors more horse. Because I love that email. That is how it became famous. Because they were trying to introduce things that he had said and done. They were trying to show it as the DA in Kyle's case was trying to show everything as premeditated. Well, you can't show something as premeditated without a directness. Don't know why this came up in my feed mid-convo, but any man who comes on the internet saying how innocent he is, how calm he was, and how the woman is screaming is the abuser. Jim Girl, you can go watch the video for yourself. That's what's so funny. You can go watch the video. Hal Sellers, just search Hal Sellers, and just know that they're the ones who put hands on me first. In fact, I had that dash cam because I could tell my ex was trying to create a physical confrontation, and I remember I was in my lawyer's office, and my lawyer's a female, and she said, "Do you have a dash cam in your car?" I said, "No." And she said, "Do you have Amazon on your phone?" I said, "Yes." She goes, "Pull up Amazon. It's going to cost you $50. You want to get yourself a dash cam, and you want a 360-degree view." And I ordered it in her office 6 months prior to the attack. 6 months prior. And it was all installed. I knew it was there. They didn't. And that's why they put false filings into the court. Yeah. What is the channel about again? First time viewer. Well, the Trump Epstein files. My mission here is to help and entertain veterans, military, and their families. So there you go. That's the mission of Veteran Nation. I am the skipper. And yeah, with back to Rittenhouse, that is why they were trying to create a premeditation situation, but because he was not making comments about the individuals who were the DA was saying was the victims, because those statements didn't relate to them, they couldn't be used. It's prejudicial. It's prejudicial. You can't introduce stuff. You got to cover. You have to focus on the event. Now, had he said, "Hey, that," I can't remember the guys, the guy with the skateboard. Had he said that guy's a real piece of shit, then it could have used as some type of, what was his mental, what was his thought process? Was this a, what's the term? Was this a premeditated thing? Yeah, Rosalind Duke covered it. Yep. Yeah, all you have to do is search Hal Sellers. That's the guy who attacked me. And he attacked me from behind. Everything I did that night, and really almost every single time dealing with my ex and her boyfriend, was they would go here and I would respond. I was always the first one to walk away. Always the first one. And that kind of, that what stinks for that is I was walking away from our son's events, and my son was unhappy and still is unhappy but like I told him, men end conflict. We don't create conflict. It's my job to teach my teenage son how to be a man. Men end conflict, and whatever you have to do to show that. And when she brings her boyfriend is trying to create a confrontation, I will leave. In that case, as you watch the video, they come up behind me. I didn't even know he was there. I did not know he was there. And, it got him a beatdown. Sorry, I'm not a violent man, but if you bring me violence, I'll match your energy. I'll match the violence. Sure. Doesn't bother me. It's your health. It's your funeral. However you want to put that. You won't see any videos of Skipper out there getting his ass kicked. I'll just say that much. Because I don't go out picking fights. I'm waiting. I see a comment. Have comments? Okay, so I'm now looking at a thing. It looks like you've provided more knowledge than LCSW or LPC on this live stream. Well, that's the thing about it. I follow a lot of federal cases. A lot of them are gun cases. And, I'll even talk about that a little bit. Yesterday, or 2 days ago, Virginia added they're stopping 18 to 20-year-olds from owning handguns. Right, Georgie? Right, Georgie? But the thing is, I believe it's the Fifth Circuit Court has just taken this up, and they're in Maryland, and they're likely to rule against it. And that's how your politicians are. This is a law that's about to be ruled unconstitutional, and Virginia's passing it. Minnesota today, right now, is debating an assault weapons ban. The Supreme Court has two cases, and they've merged them together. And they're probably, the indication is they're going to throw out assault weapons bans. And that's going to happen by June. So they're trying to pass in February an assault weapons ban that in less than 6 months is going to be ruled unconstitutional. That is how your politicians waste your time and money. And I follow these cases. Gun rights are, and really all civil rights. There's just so many First Amendment right cases out there that it's hard to follow them all. There's less so with guns, but I do follow civil rights cases pretty regularly. And that's why I'm able to quote a lot of these cases to you guys, because I'm familiar with them. Like, I've written about them, I've studied them, I've literally gone in and read the decisions. So the video that I did, it's a quarter of the way downloaded. Hopefully it downloads before I leave for work today. I think it will. Once I end the stream, it'll probably speed up. Isn't that funny though, how, because I want to go back here to where is it? Jim Girl D's comment. So isn't it funny how she made a decision? She made a judgment about a case where there's video proof. There is video proof. Made a decision based off of, I'm going to just say it, her own biases. And here's the thing. Jim Girl D has a right to her opinion, even if it's a not informed opinion. And you guys notice how I'm not upset about it. Here's one thing I'll tell you, Jim Girl D, and this is someone who is a veteran with PTSD who's been in therapy for 10 years and has benefited very well. Whatever is causing you to make that judgment is a you problem. It's not a me problem. And I would highly recommend that you seek to talk to someone and process your feelings for whatever reason. See, that's how Skipper does things. There's no reason to throw out any hate or anything. Some people would get upset about that, but I am far enough along in my my emotional, how do I want to see this? Dealing with my emotions and getting control of my emotions, that I don't need to get upset over something. Like, people can have opinions, even ill-informed opinions. And some people would be like, well, Jim Girl D attacked you. No, I don't see it. Like, she expresses an opinion, and that's okay. The government would cease to exist if it didn't use useless non-issues to distract. They never get anything done in favor. If people know what was really happening, distract. Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know what? I'm going to put that comment up, Miss Jams, because that's a great comment. And that is 100% true. And this is what I dealt with veterans, where they were like, they're trying to reduce your, disability. And then I looked at it and I'm like, oh no, they're doing what they normally would do. Like, hey, we got people watching on X right now. Thank you guys so much for watching on X. I do appreciate it. We don't get many comments from X, but I do get views. And something weird is happening with Restream because I've got that comment. Unless if, oh wow, I just got a whole bunch of comments. Well, I wouldn't say her opinion is dumb. I would say her opinion is just not based in facts, and that's okay. That is okay. Um, uh, but what I do is I encourage her to go and watch the video for herself. Hey, Colleen, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. If anyone is here that I haven't welcomed, I'm sorry, and I want to say welcome. I will be ending the stream here very shortly. We've gone exactly a half hour so far. Anything else we want to talk about with the Hales case? I think this was a brilliant maneuver by Randy. I think this was an absolute blunder by Judge Belitho. Judge Belitho put himself in this, and it was a completely unforced error. You guys realize it. Hey, Teresa, good to see you. Thank you for commenting and watching on Facebook. We got you and Amanda over there on Facebook. I appreciate that. But yeah, he painted himself into this corner, and I'll tell you this: being a judge and being asked to recuse yourself is embarrassing. A judge having to recuse themselves, especially for bias. Oh yeah, I won't. I'll pull that up right now. Especially for bias, is embarrassing. Probably more embarrassing is being overturned, though. So, if I were Judge Hinkle and Judge Belitho, I would say, you know what? Yeah, we're just gonna. I don't know if Hinkle has to recuse. This is a little bit new territory for me, in terms of federal court dealing with a magistrate. I haven't. This is the first case I've dealt with a magistrate, because normally when they do a magistrate or an arbiter, those are not public. Oh, thank you, Jessica. I do appreciate that. Here's the thing: all the emotions about a lot of this stuff. Had you caught me in 2018, 2019, yeah, I would have been emotional. I would have gotten angry. Not today. It's like he's picked a side in my mind, not listening to the facts. Yeah, it is. It is. Oh, Cinder's here. Good morning, Cinder. Okay, and I'm gonna read this. This is about I'm gonna say Billy Tri-Region, BILY. Reaching out on behalf of Billy Tri-Region because I love you, you parent support group, to introduce our program and explore a potential connection with Veteran Nation. Billy is a parent-led support group model focused on strengthening families, improving communication, helping parents address challenging behaviors in their children, teens, even adult children. All of our facilitators are volunteers, including myself. As executive director, I volunteer my time each week to meet with parents in crisis through our Monday Zoom meetings and Tuesday in-person meetings. We also walk alongside families as they navigate complex systems, including involvement with law enforcement, court proceedings, mental health, and addiction care appointments, child and family services. Many parents come to us feeling overwhelmed and alone. Boy, don't I know that. Boy, in my case, it was exhausting. Now it doesn't affect me, but at points it was so exhausting. And you know what was the most exhausting thing? Wasn't the court case. It was dealing with my family, who was had never been through a divorce, and constantly second guessing me and my attorney, telling me, you need to do this. And it was like, oh, are you guys attorneys? No. How about you shut the fuck up? Through structured peer support and practical tools, we help them regain stability, confidence, and hope. Which, by the way, a colleague of mine just walked, and he was he was relying on me for support in his divorce, and still is. Just walked out of court. He was paying $1,400 a month in spousal support. His ex made such an ass of herself in court that the judge was like, and this judge, female judge, was out to get him. And I told him, she's out to get you beforehand, because she was doing everything to try to stick it to him. But the level of entitlement by his ex was like, the judge cleared the court and uh, then said, okay, I'm inclined to reduce spousal support down to 0. He has the kids and she hasn't been paying child support. So he's supposed to be getting child support, which is only, like a certain amount. But he's been paying her spousal support and she refuses to work and claims to be disabled but doesn't have doctor's information. So it was pretty funny dealing with him this week. It was last week where he won. I say he won because now he doesn't have to pay $1,400 in spousal support. My connection to Billy is deeply personal. Over 10 years ago, my own daughter fell into a bad crowd and became an active drug user. At that time, there were no programs available to help me with her and no local supports to guide me as a parent. I felt isolated and desperate. Finding Billy changed everything and saved my life, saved my marriage, helped me rebuild relationships with all my children, including my daughter who is now in recovery. That lived experience drives my commitment to ensure no parent has to walk this road alone. That's one thing I'll say. With my whole PTSD journey, I'm so glad I have PTSD because it put me on a path. And I was a good dad beforehand, but it put me on a path where I focused everything on being a great dad. And now me and my son have such an amazing uh, relationship. He's coming today is not my custody day. He's coming here tonight. And yesterday I'm getting messages, "Hey dad, can't wait to see you tomorrow." I just saw him on Thursday. So it hasn't even been a week. And he's like, "Can't wait to see you. I love you." I was like, "Hey, I can't wait to see you. I love you. You're my favorite person in the world. I'm so proud of you." You know? And saying those things are huge towards a young person's development. Tell your kids that you're proud of them if you don't. Make sure you I understand there's some men who have a hard time saying I love you. I say I love you all the time, but at least say I'm proud of you. At least that. Build their confidence up. Hey Linda, good to see you. For the past 6 years, Billy Tri-Region has been the only active Billy program operating in Canada. We have been offering Zoom meetings for the past year to reach families beyond our immediate area. At this time, I'm solely responsible for promoting, organizing, hosting the program here in Canada. We have recently become a registered nonprofit with a sitting board made up of parents who have completed the program. My hope is to see Billy expand across Canada with more locations and additional Zoom meetings serving multiple purposes. Um, uh, Billy, because I love you. Uh, that's what the acronym Billy, because I love you. Runs successful chapters in the United States. I'm gonna put the link here for you guys. Let me put it here so you guys have it. And our mission is to keep families together, build resilience, equip parents with strategies that work, strengthening not just individual households, but entire communities. I would truly value the opportunity for you to see the impact and importance of the program. My hope is you would see the value in this and what we're doing, perhaps consider supporting or helping raise awareness that the Canadian Billy Group exists and is available to help families in crisis. I think that's great. I think that's great. And you know what, Amanda? Let's get together offline on this because I want to do more to support you guys, not just this. You've been patient with me, but I did want to get this stuff out there. And yeah, let's uh, let's do maybe an interview or an interview or a separate video on it. I'm happy to do that. And I'll tell you right now, that is one thing that I can say is helped me was dealing with mental health professionals. I was man enough. I had people who, when my divorce was starting, they were like, "You need to fight her for everything." And, I thank them for their advice. I still thank them for their advice. I'm glad I didn't take it. Um, I was determined that, um, and I said this before, I have to look myself in the mirror. And when my marriage was failing, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do every single thing that I can to try to make this work. Because if it fails, there's going to be a day where I have to look at my kid and say, I did everything or I didn't do everything. And I wanted to be able to say, I did everything. And that's what pushed me into my PTSD therapy was no, I'm gonna just put myself in this. One of the leadership traits that we teach in the Marine Corps is know thyself and seek self-improvement. And I could see there were areas I could improve. And I also recognized with all this drama and everything, I was too emotional and I was too close to it. And a friend of mine, Donna, who runs Battle Buddies, the Battle Buddies app, which is for veterans and their families in crisis. So make sure you tell veterans and their families about that. Donna is a therapist. And I asked her, what do you think? As we were talking about the divorce, she said, here's what I'm going to tell you. You need to not just be in PTSD therapy. You need a therapist for this stuff. And I ended up with my current therapist who, whenever my ex would be escalating, I would, rather than respond to her, I would call my therapist. She'd say, okay, let's text her back and let's text this. And we were always using non-emotional language, trying to always bring things down. Absolutely, Miss James. And I'll say this. I've got a family member in a custody battle. I gave them that same advice. They're a little bit stubborn. They finally now are seeing a therapist doing the same thing. That therapist recommended using AI for non-confrontational language to bring things down. And it's improving. It is improving. So that's where I can see something like Billy here. I can definitely see why it would help people. And here's the flyer. I will post this on my channel and all my social media. I'll make sure I put this out there. So that way you guys all have it. But I'm looking at the time, guys. I went longer than what I wanted to. I am glad that we got to. Finally, there's emotion that really means something in the what the hell. I was getting so tired of dealing with Luffman and Matskin's emails and stupid motions. We're finally dealing with something of substance, and this one was a biggie. This one was huge. So, yeah, look for my video to come out later on today. Yeah, it's half downloaded, so I should have it before I leave. But all right, guys, thank you so much. And as always, thank you for being worth serving.
Coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleeping moon. Goose print smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies, eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup, simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore, morning in America, wanting just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise, kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies, eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise, kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies, eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive, big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakened